Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in game number 1 in this fresh best of 3. This is, of course, season 3 of Copa America. You're watching here with Rifkin and Zombie Grub. Spawning in the top left corner of the map, though, is the newcomer, so to speak, challenging Desrow, who, of course, was last season's season 2 second place finalist. But challenging him in the top left corner of the map is going to be the red Zerg player, Dakkon.
In the bottom right, as the green Protoss, it is once again Desrow.
All right, so I want to address something before we talk about the players and build them up and all these wonderful things, guys. This gets asked a lot on Copa America. You know, why are we not doing this on Base Trade TV? We cast everything else on Base Trade TV. Because we've actually come here to cast for Copa America, not the other way around. So unlike a regular community cast, we're here assisting with the English stream. It's their tournament for their channel. Yes, it would make more sense to stream on Base Trade TV, but that's not the point. We're here to help them build up Copa America, make people enjoy this more. So, like, should we, whatever chance may prevent us from coming back in the future, have a channel built up for them with our good doings and whatnots? So there's a lot of benefits to them to cast here on their channel, which is why we're assisting them out on this. So don't worry, guys. Base Trade TV, not dying or anything. We're just here on Copa America and casting their tournament on their channel.
That would be a pretty over-exaggeration if someone said that Base TV is dying.
Well, I mean, all it took was a couple of pictures from a bar in Toronto, and people were concerned about Base Trade TV dying.
No one believed that, except that one guy. It was like, I really hope they don't start dating.
Well, no, there's that one guy too. He's like, I really hope this isn't the end of Base Trade TV. Like,
he's like, are you okay? Are you for reals? Are you good?
So I'm just saying, like, we're covering our bases with this. Covering our base trade. Actually, yo, big shout out for anyone who lives in Toronto. Best moment of the entire time spent at IEM. I know we should be talking about the game, but nothing dynamic's happening right now. We were going down the highway, and there was like Bay Street. But the way that the GPS navigation, like, robot voice was saying it sounded like they were saying Base Trade. So it's like Bay Street, Base Trade. Like, I don't know. Best moment was like accidentally finding Base Trade while we were in freaking Toronto. But anyways, with the game on hand, you know, we just saw Desrow kick a lot of ass. He came out of that first series, clean as whistle, 2 games back-to-back, very clean, quick victories. We'll see if Dakkon can give him a bit of a challenge. I'd say King Sejong is a pretty nice map for Zerg, but we've been seeing a lot of back and forth. 4 bases on this map between these 2 races. I mean, Desrow definitely comes into this as the favorite. He's the well-known tournament circuit player. Don't know much about Dakkon, but as I said, the best thing about Copa America is like that chance that this like unknown, I don't know, Peruvian player or Brazilian player or whatever comes out of the woodwork and knocks down somebody famous, somebody well known.
So far, we haven't really had that happen. Yeah, like Huck was the last one I can remember that was kind of like a surprise, and he lost to Fog, was it?
Fog.
We lost to 2 people because it was a group stage, but that was the killing blow as Fog again, I think. So, like, that's, like, not what you would expect. You know, you think of Huck as, like, you know, up there and Fog maybe, like, a little more middle. But, you know, Fog is still, like, a really popular player, right? So we're still waiting on, like, that one guy who we're going to finally cast and be like, whoa, this guy is, like, seriously good. Like, maybe he can actually, well I guess originally take on Major, but, you know.
I would argue we've seen a couple of those. So, I mean, players like B-Lord and stuff have really surprised us. You know, they're not exactly going to be taking down...
With their style.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, they're not exactly going to be taking out Polt at MLG in the grand finals or anything like that. But
I don't know, man. Polt would be like, what the heck? Ultras.
I'm just saying, there's some fight in a lot of these players, legitimately. And this isn't some, like, fake thing we're trying to build up. We've been impressed by a lot of the contestants of Copa America.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just waiting for the guy that makes, like, the top 4, you know? And we're just like, yo, we cast him in the beginning, and he's actually here. That's freaking awesome.
We started from the bottom, now we here.
Yeah, I was like, if they weren't giving us matches, right, I was kind of tempted to just pick someone at random and just be like, I'm going to bless you, not curse, I'm going to bless you with the power of Zombie Grub, I guess. And you're going to make top 4, surprisingly.
That just sounds like you caught somebody sneezing. Bless you.
Zombie Grub, bless you. That's a very special bless you.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things here we do notice, of course, out of Dakkon is he was not too hesitant, not too shy in taking a third. We do sometimes see Zerg players playing a little bit more heavily on 2 bases, a little bit worried about the pressure Protoss players can apply to a 3rd base. But again, if you know Desrow's playstyle coming into the series, like, it's a little bit uncharacteristic for him to have been so aggressive in the last series. But I think what he's probably going to do is get a feeler for his opponent in this first game. He'll play it safe as he can, guarantee a win. I mean, if you recall, I believe it was last season too, we had Desrow several moments where like, yo, dude, go in and kill him. Like, you've got the power, you just don't know it. So I imagine we'll have like a safe play style of Desert for this first game, gauge whether his opponent was easy versus hard, and we'll see how he reacts in game number 2, more importantly. But for Dakkon, he's got a bunch of slow lings, sadly. Not a lot you can do with these.
Well, you make it a cancel.
No, actually, Metabug was just kicked in too, so maybe might actually be able to get some work done. Kills a probe, lots
Yeah,
of
you should get the cancel. No, he's actually gonna try and save it. No, you have to cancel. Yep. Because even if you do save it, that's actually all of your energy on your force, like all of the force field energy, every single one.
Yeah. Well, Blink weapon upgrades. Pretty much, I'd say the standard of standard when it comes to Protoss. I mean, one of the things we're going to be looking for, of course, is whether Desert decides to, on this third base, go for like level 3 weapon upgrades and just massive amounts of Stalkers, or get the Colossus, get the Immortals, get that sort of standard fighting force. Because we're seeing a lot of like these sort of Stalker openers transition into that later tech later on.
Double Hydraliston on purpose? It seems like on purpose.
It could be for the all-in, yeah. We've definitely seen the muscular augments or the group spines time out together in the past. It seems weird. It seems like a waste. I'm personally not a fan of it, but if you are looking to hit hard and fast as possible, this would be the way to do it.
Yeah. Just we never really. I think we saw it like once or twice, and it ended up failing. So I don't think we really paid that much attention to it. But that is definitely on purpose. So this is we'll see if it actually works. Desrow did scout this, so he knows something. It's going to be. Well, it's going to be a lot of units fairly quickly. Don't have to wait for the secondary upgrade. Don't have to wait for the speed boost.
But here's where I think the small problem comes into effect. Well, first off, Desrow does get cut a little bit off guard in the middle of the map. Nothing too dangerous, though, as we do see a couple force fields towards this with very, very little losses. What I was going to say, though, is like, he's got to rush out those Colossus now. He's got to get out quick. I mean, he knows there's going to be a lot of Hydralisks coming his way here very fast. And quite frankly, he doesn't have the Blink Stalker count to deal with this just yet. His Zealots don't have charge. Sentries will only do so much. Dealing with a ton of Hydralisks that are fully upgraded as far as, I guess, tech-wise goes, muscular augments and group spines is not going to be fun to deal with if you don't have any sort of Colossus in this army. And he, doesn't.
He is getting them though.
Yeah.
I was wondering why is he moving across the map like this, and I think he just, since he doesn't have, well, as an observer, but it's not right outside his base. He just sees the Hydras coming. That he's trying to find them, maybe cut them off on a ramp, which would be really, really nice. Dakkon just going straight for those rocks, however, but a lot of Hydralisks, they're not so good by themselves. Oh, they're getting caught.
Yeah, getting segmented off a little bit at a time. I like the Dark Shrine coming up behind this. I thought Desrow was just going to rush in with that War Prism, do some Zealots, and go ham, but with it hiding up here and hiding out, I mean, it'll eventually get discovered, but this kind of times out for the DTs a little bit better.
And it's like, how do you defend that, right? Like, if you send a couple of Hydralisks, they're actually not that great by themselves, right? And, Lings against, a bunch of Zealots is actually not so great either, so... Well, he just comes in here. He broke them on the rocks. I'm surprised. Well, Desrow had his units kind of in position. The Colossus will help
for the Nexus. So he should be able to get those force fields, though. Still gets the Nexus. But I mean, is this really worth it? Yeah, you lose your entire Hydralisk army to knock down one building. Desrow does have a third up and running, so hardly the end of the world. But Dakkon, that was a great aggressive move, and this is the sort of stuff I want to see. The question is, though, does this cost him too much in the end? There's that old classic caster saying, "At what cost?" I think that really applies right now.
Yeah, he does bring out his entire army back home and try and deal with this, but it is going to be DTs. A lot of Hydrals getting cut off guard. He's just... Well, please pause. Okay, well, okay. Yeah, Dakkon, like... This composition is really great against someone who got like later Colossus, especially if you hit fast enough that you just barely catch them with only one and there's a big concave. Going up to just snipe that Nexus was never going to get much of the army. Like, never. Unless Desrow, like, completely messed up. So it's just like very like fragile army for a Nexus when your opponent's getting like the counter, like the best counter, Colossus and Sentries. Like, you got to bring that number down, not the Nexus number.
What I almost wish you would have done was like had baited the army to one position and attacked another, like
exactly.
Just all in one location, split it in half. Because I mean,
you had Lings, right? Like, go ahead and send those Lings to a third.
Yeah, it's not like Dakkon didn't do damage. Like, guys, we're criticizing this, but make no mistake, he could have done more. Is our point. But still fluttering a lot of these units. These DTs go undetected. No Spore Crawlers, no Overseers. Oh, these are going to snipe.
I'm so surprised. He saw the Warp Prism, but he just didn't see that it was being warped in.
I gotta feel like Desrow could get a lot of drone kills if he goes for those instead.
Yeah, he is. He goes for him. And now That's the decision. It's going to be like this weird base trade where Desrow's probably definitely going to win. He has the better army. Dakkon doesn't have enough of an army to really overpower what Desrow has, which is Colossus Sentry. Like these Hydralisks, they need to have like a great concave to even contest.
Well, Candace might Desrow a little bit of time. He is walking home as there's no Mothership Quarter recall. A little bit unfortunate in that regard. But, Colossus are starting to spawn at home. This Nexus, even if he snipes this off, not going to be that big of a deal, I feel. Once again, Desrow's economy is looking okay. It's not amazing or anything, but it's pretty okay. Does keep the Colossus alive. Now with 3 Colossus, Blink Stalkers here. He's going to lose this base, but he should be able to hold against the army. Meanwhile, DTs have cleared out the main of Dakkon while this was going on. They're even going to get the lair behind this. So while Desrow loses the base, Dakkon loses a lot of tech.
Oh, he needs Overseers too. Man, if he loses that lair, he has no Overseers? Really?
Oh, he just lost the one on the other side of the field. Yeah, it just got sniped off by the Stalkers, so... Oh, that is painful.
I just feel like there was... After that first attack where the Nexus went down, there was actually almost no way for Dakkon to actually come back. Like, I kept on looking at his supply, and his supply was never that great on a composition that was not very good against what Desrow has. I mean, once Desrow had 6 Sentries and 2 Colossus, I was like, well, I guess... Like, Dakkon's composition is actually, like, completely not good. And the DT is adding damage on top of that is also, obviously really terrible.
Well, I think at this point, too, the level 3 weapon upgrades, like, had Dakkon even kept these Hydralisk dens alive, like, no matter what he has at this point, whether it's Hydras, Roaches, Lings, it's level 3 weapon upgrades Stalkers here in about 5 to 10 seconds, and quite frankly, nothing that Dakkon has is going to contend with this. He just doesn't have the numbers.
Huh. He's getting a lot of Roaches, but he didn't get Roach speed. So, it's a bummer.
Well, at least it'll be funny on creep. I mean, a small upside.
Yeah, there's something for that. There's something for that.
He actually withdraws from the 3rd because his DT still going him.
Oh, and he doesn't have a lair. Like, he literally does not have an Overseer, and he can't make one.
This is kind of reminding me of that series we cast, Journey versus Yang.
No, don't remind me of that one, okay? Just shoo.
Shoo. Just get out of here. Shoo. Like, you're not welcome, Rifkin.
even without the DTs, again, Desrow's army just seems a lot better. Dakkon is, though, like, I think he didn't actually mean to go for Roaches. I feel like you would have eventually, but he gets them because he lost everything else. He's on a spawning pool, he's on a Hydra sense, so he gets a lot of Roaches, but now that actually makes his composition look a lot better. It's still not that great, because without Corruptors, the Colossus just output, like, so much damage, but, Roach Hydra is better than just Hydra against Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, Dakkon's getting a Spore Crawler, but at this point, Desrow was beating him to 1 base. This hatchery is not going to get up. I mean, this is kind of a situation where we saw last season where you're like screaming, Desrow, finish him! Like, and Desrow wants to play safe, he wants to win, so he's not going to go super ham on this, but I kind of feel like, and God forbid people get mad at me for phrasing like this, I feel like he could just kind of A-move at this point and go. All he's got to do is kill that 1 Spore Crawler, his DTs will do the rest of the damage.
Not actually sure why. Oh, I guess Desrow was just waiting for his Nexus to get up or something. But now he's moving across the map. He has 5 Colossus, still has a lot of Horse Foot energy. Still has DTs. I mean, come on.
Well, we get a small lull here. Fear Drinking, people saying the game sounds might be a little too low. Okay, well, hopefully it catches up and people are like, yeah, it's all good. Well, coming up here on this newly found base, I mean, props to Dakkon for double expanding. You make up for lost time, right? But I don't think either of these bases are getting up, and I certainly don't think they're going to influence this game.
No.
No. Mr. Peter.
These ETs, I mean, I guess they're adding some damage, but really, Desrow, you can just go kill him. No need to chill and wait. Gotta preserve the stamina. It's a pretty long tournament. Go on.
Go on. Yeah.
Is he still warping in DTs? Or like
he's trying.
That he's had.
No, he's trying to dive the Spore Crawler, and so that's it for detection. That's it for the game. I feel. I mean, Dakkon is moving out to go for a base trade. I mean, this is his only real option, but there's no way he wins the race.
And there's actually a recall where this is definitely a moment where the recall would be better.
Forgot they can always recall. Leave like 4 Stalkers over here to finish everything off.
There he goes.
It just recalls everything. I kind of wish you would have left a couple units there, but whatever.
Oh, the guy's on like 1 hatchery. I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, it's about like killing the actual buildings, right? Like.
Yeah, and plus the DT can take care of this hatchery. Am I right? GG. I was gonna repeat out at the end, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was hardly a dynamic game towards the end of that, but well played by Desrow. But before we get too far out of this game, I just want to go back to the double Hydra Den. I really like that attempt to go for like the one big punch. I still think if we had like recovered game and resumed replay at that moment, we would have seen Dakkon perhaps do that sort of split of forces and do more damage in 2 locations instead of a lot of damage in 1. But either way, put up a pretty good fight. Shows that he's not some total scrub coming up against Desrow. And of course, when you see Desrow play slow and steady like that, he as well is a little bit scared of throwing the game. So Dakkon was able to put Desrow on edge, which is good. Desrow actually messaging me. He's like, "You're probably talking about this on stream because the last time, but I just want to let you know, every time you cast me, I take a while to finish because finishing a Zergon's creep is scary, man." So yeah, money.
I was wondering if he was maybe afraid like there was like a bunch of corruptors hidden somewhere, and he was like, not gonna chance it.
That's the thing. Like, I don't blame him, right? Like, he's not playing poorly by doing this, but it's just one of those things where, like, without observers, you don't know how far ahead you are, right? There's no way for you to tell that you've got like 150 supply.
Sorry, there was no overseer, and there was only 2 spore crawlers, and you didn't have an observer. There would be zero somewhere, right? But still, like, you could have corruptors hidden. That would actually be a cool move, and we never see it. It's we see it in TVT sometimes, where like they hide a bunch of Vikings because Viking control means a lot.
Yeah.
But we never see like the Roach Hider going like, "Come at me, bro, come at me," and then like corruptors come out of nowhere, which would be kind of a cool move in my opinion. So apparently, killer forfeit. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, that sucks.
What's going on, man? Sad, sad.
Well, this one's got host, so hopefully I can invite everybody here. Desrow, you have host. Can you invite back, please? All right, we're Dakkon joining us here in the lobby. Sorry about the small little bit of a wait there, guys. But Deadwing, by the way. Sorry, I don't know if I announced that yet or not. But Deadwing will be map number 2, number dos. Hopefully all the casters are in here. See Petroka, which is good. All right, everyone ready? Sure, casters are good to go. Give them a thumbs up.
Hey, are we supposed to wait for?
I don't know. I'm just. You can yell at me later. So we're gonna wait for everybody ready. I mean, Dakkon said he's ready. We're waiting on Desrow. We're waiting on the Pedroka here. Pedroka or D. The D's for later. All right, there's Demo. I thought we were missing one. I wasn't sure. He's just ready. All right, so let's rock and roll. Deadwing map number 2, guys, coming up here. We'll see you in just some moments. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this intro. Big shout outs once again go to Fear Dragon, observing and working the stream here tonight for us. Of course, he'll be casting from time to time in the future as well, but tonight he's just on camera. Woo! So much love goes out to him. But you guys are watching Copa America. This is Season 3. This is game number 2. And currently spawning here in the bottom left corner of the map, trailing the series at the moment. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is going to be the red Zerg player, Dakkon.
Near left as the green Protoss, it's Desrow.
So there was another game where I gotta say Dakkon put up good fights, but Desrow ultimately took it in the end pretty convincingly. We kind of joke about Desrow taking a while to finish games, and I want to emphasize that's a joke, not a criticism, because the whole point is winning. There's no point rushing to a quick loss, throwing the game because you got too cocky. And I mean, if there was one criticism, it would be like, Desrow makes some observers so you know just how far ahead you are, right? But I think at a point you realize you've sniped off 4 hatcheries, you're good to go. And Dakkon was not going to recover from that point. So big credits go to Desrow for using those DTs in the late game. Really like that choice.
I did like Dakkon's choice to actually be aggressive. So it didn't seem to really do a whole lot. We kind of started calling that game around like 10 minutes, I would say. Once he lost that army, it's just kind of like, okay, I don't think that was, that doesn't seem to be working, and behind it wasn't a remax either. But I liked the choice to be aggressive. It just is about, because I wasn't really like, it just seemed like that attack in the hands of like Jaedong or someone, right? And I'm thinking of Jaedong right now, but any
You're
really
always
good
thinking of
player,
Jaedong, let's be honest.
I know, let's be honest here, but in a play like him, like he would be less willing to give away his army. It feels like an army that you just don't give away for a Nexus Knight, but it just isn't like, people have experimented, okay, it's not worth it to give away Hydras, 20 Hydras for a Nexus. It just, unless your opponent was on, like, not a third, but he knew it was on a third, so. But, something else, and maybe not on this map either. Mutas, I think, are like, because I'm thinking of ways that, like, maybe Dakkon knows that Desrow's probably a better player than him. Maybe not. But, being aggressive, great move. Changing things up, great move. Mutas against a Protoss player, also a great move. Like, that is the one thing that some people just have a lot of trouble with, no matter, like, what their league is. They're great PvZ, Roach Hydra, they're the Grandmaster in that, but they're actually, like, Masters League and, like, PvZ with Mutas, right? They're just absolutely terrible against it. We've seen players like that. Just something to mix it up, and this is, like, a map that is so great for Protoss that it's gonna have to be something really good mixed in.
What's funny, bring up the map. Actually, I want to touch base on that for a moment because despite spawn locations here, one thing we have been seeing a big trend of is like Zerg players breaking down these rocks earlier. Because we talked a lot about this when the map was fresh and new and taking the third base over here rather than your more exposed, easy to take base. But Dakkon is actually going to be taking that third, at the more, I guess, expected location. I'm personally not a fan of this. And to explain why, for those of you who are maybe newer to StarCraft2, this ledge creates a lot of problems. You can position Blink Stalkers on hold at the bottom. You can blink them up to the top. You can use Colossus with extended thermal lance. All ways to abuse the terrain on this third base specifically to stop mining on this third without actually forcing an engagement. There's very few maps that actually allow this to happen. Yansu is a very similar map 2-3 seasons ago that we saw a lot of examples of that on. So Dakkon taking this base isn't horrible by any means. Don't get me wrong. Usually you're going to be on about 4 bases anyways. You'll have this base at some point. I just don't like that he took it first.
Well, for Desrow, it's all about building that wall, right? No matter which base he takes, he gets a pretty good wall out of it. Whether it's the one down south to his main base or the one to a little bit to the east of his natural. They're just both really great. We actually have an opener with Stargate for Desrow. Let's see if it's a Oracle into Phoenix or just Phoenix. We've been seeing a lot of Void Ray play as well. Maybe Desrow's going to try and do something with that.
Actually, it's kind of funny. The mass Void Rays have been the closest thing to like an A move we've really seen in a long time. I mean, once upon a time, that was the joke for Protoss. You're like, oh, you 4-gated all in, whatever. But I mean, even that still took like a very marginally large amount of skill when it came to like controlling the units, making sure your zealots were in front, sentries, blah, blah, blah. With Void Rays making a big comeback and being more prevalent, at least in the European scene, I'd say more than most, it's kind of funny just how big of a deal it is where you're like, oh, prismatic alignment's not even on cooldown, but who cares? Let's just go for it.
Yeah, it's like the control for mass Void Rays is kind of like don't get fungold.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same one that happened in Wings Liberty where like, Zergs were all like, well, if you just don't clump your units, it won't be such a big deal. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe, okay, but, it's really hard to split shit in StarCraft, okay?
Stuff.
They clump.
Stuff.
SHIT is actually PG. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, I know it was on a barrel, and that's how it all started. But anyways, we did the Oracle come across first. Don't get too excited, guys. We only have one Void Ray. This is kind of typical when you expect a Roach response or some sort of Roach attack. But Desrow has attack rallied here into the drones, so we should be able to get about 6 or 7 before we...
That seems like an awfully low number of drones in the main.
10 with 7 dead? I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe. 7 died. Wow, okay. Well, it's a Void Ray follow-up, which doesn't necessarily mean he's going for Void Rays. I think by now, if he was going for that Void Ray style, we would have seen a second Stargate thrown down. That seems to be what's going on. This is just, precautionary. Obviously, if there's a Roach counterattack, it can do some damage, but they're gonna die, and sometimes very quickly to the Void Ray overcharge. And this is the wall that I'm talking about. Like, try and break this wall. I mean, just try, please. That's why you get mutas. You just don't have to deal with walls.
Well, I think one of these for Desrow here with Twilight Council coming out is what really intrigues me. So, again, we were like alluding to the potential of Void Rays. They are definitely an option, but as I'm going to point out, we're probably not going to get to see those in. With the Twilight Council finishing I don't think we'll see DTs at this sort of awkward timing, but I would love to see, honestly, more than Blink Charge. However, most likely it's going to be Blink. It just times out so well with Jester's third base. He's got such good economy. He'll have those level 3 weapon upgrades cranked out like crazy. Wow. And the other thing, too, is he's got quite a bit of energy for Chrono Boosts, especially on his main Nexus.
Yeah, he's getting so many gate rays right now. 3-gate Blink all in with +2. It was pretty popular. A lot of people are playing more towards the late game, even though I think it's a very strong strategy. But with 4 + 5 more, it's 9 gateways on 3 bases. With 61 probes. He's actually pretty, this is what's so strong about it, though, is that it is just, you're pretty much set on everything. You get your third base up. It's pretty safe, especially on this map. And Blink Stalkers have such long lives. They have, double the lives of regular Stalkers. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Well, I think one of the things, too, and let's not forget, it's so... fickle with timings coming against Hydralisks. I mean, Hydras are so good against things coming out of the gateways. So for Desrow to do this without Blink already done, it's a little bit scary to consider. But I mean, at the same time, he's done what Protoss are kind of jokingly meant to do, where you just do nothing until you're ready to attack. Defend, force fields, cannons, overcharge, whatever. But getting to this point, Blink's going to be finished up here in a second. Level 2 weapon upgrades probably won't time out with this attack, but... it's just the sheer volume of units. It's 55 army supply to 20 army supply of that of Dakkon. He's got pylons here on the front lines. He's got a fully energized mothership core for double time warps, or even a rehaul if the situation gets too sticky. And worse yet, he actually catches units here. Something Dakkon needs so desperately.
Yeah. Ling Hydra, not a bad composition. They're both fairly effective against Stalkers. It's just, with the sentries, with the Blink, they're always looking back. And the fact that Dakkon, actually, I don't know, maybe a supply block, but only now building 17 Hydras. Those trickle in, they're really not that great.
No, the poor drones are getting obliterated running into the Stalkers. Army count still stands, 72 over 34 for that of Dakkon. I mean, the Hydras are good. The Mutalisk tech swap possibility would have been really cool had we gotten to it, but the reality is it's too much in his base, too much in his face, and Desrow's looking to take possibly another 2-0 right here.
Yeah, there was actually so little scouting from Dakkon in this game. He never scouted the main. He didn't even see the gateway at the front. So he had no idea this was coming. Maybe if he did, maybe he gets his army way sooner, and he barely holds on. The mutation probably wouldn't have come into this game, honestly, unless they were backed off, but... as it was, they came way too late. 16 Hydras when the attack was happening is just too late. And
not enough. Yeah, it's just not enough.
GG.
GG. Good. Game number 2 goes to Desrow. He takes another very slick 2-0. Congratulations to him. Really well handled and really well played.